Hi guys, my name is Isabella Greene and today I'm here to share with you some information that came in during my experience of quantum healing hypnosis, Dolores Cannon style, where I got to communicate directly with the higher self. Today we're going to talk about reincarnation loop and take a look at whether we do or do not have choices as far as incarnating back on Earth. The whole idea that we know that is propagated through different teachings, the ancient books, the ancient teachings, and also shared through our conversations about near-death experiences. The whole idea that we leave the body and we're greeted by our loved ones that we missed from these lifetimes or different lifetimes that are passed on, and also a group of angels who look at us and tell us that, oh, we did good but not good enough, and so there are more lessons to be learned and we have to go back to Earth to continue with the lessons, either redo the lessons or start a new lesson that is for our own benefit, for the benefit of our journey. And so we agree, and next thing we know, we're back on Earth and incarnating again. This whole story really never sat well with me. I always felt that it was kind of forced. And listening to many of those quantum healing hypnosis sessions that are available now on YouTube, the whole part about that interaction always felt very uncomfortable to me. And so I decided to ask my own higher self whether this was the way things really are, whether that was an artificial construct that was created by forces to maintain the population on Earth, to maintain the energy harvesting system through suffering, and also to continue entrapment of the souls who originally decided to come to Earth and help and then now can't get out. So that system continuing the entrapment of the cosmic souls on Earth. So this was my question. The question was, is this really true? Is this really how things are? Or are we just caught in the web of someone else's design of control? What I received as an answer was a confirmation of my suspicion that the entire system was false. First of all, we experience what we believe. And the belief that we are met by angels and loved ones after death, and then they are so loving and kind and will go into light and they greet us and they tell us, oh no, you were a bad girl or you were a bad boy and we love you, but you have to go back and continue your suffering on Earth. That idea is propagated. It's really shared through just about every religious teaching and religious system, and also in the New Age community that talks about the angels and angelics and the guides that meet you after death and tell you the same thing. So we pretty much all believe that, or people who in that space, we believe all that, right? So our system of belief actually determines what we experience. And so if we're expecting that we're going to come out of the body and we're going to be greeted by the loved ones and we're going to be greeted by the angels and they're going to send us back to Earth, this is exactly what we experience. And so we expect to agree that we're going to go back to Earth. We expect to be told that we didn't do so good, that there are more lessons to be learned, and we expect to say, okay, I'm coming back and I'm going to do all this all over again. The truth is that this is also an artificial construct. These ideas were placed in human conditioning and human belief system to maintain the system of entrapment. Let's take a cosmic soul, for example, of super high frequency who decided to lower their frequencies and come into Earth to assist and to bring light here and to assist the evolution, assist the planet. They come in, they bring a lot of light, they bring a lot of energy, and that energy is priceless for the ones who are interested in harvesting the kind of energy or feeding off of the kind of energy. So they come in, they receive situations, or we can call that entities, right? They pull them into intense suffering, they suffer, and that while they suffer, they're producing the energy that is harvested, that is received by the forces that are interested in that kind of energy, and converting the energy of light into the energy of suffering, the energy of darkness. And so when finally that lifetime is over, they're departing and they're moving through, they move into that space where they experience the presence, what they think is the presence of their loved ones, and that opens them up. Because when you see your grandmother that you miss so much, or your mom who passed on, and you finally get to see her again, your heart is wide open and you become susceptible to ideas, you become softened to receive any sort of suggestions. And then come the beings that look like angels, that we perceive as angelics, and perhaps they're posing as those beings that we consider angelics, and they tell you, no, you cannot go back to your planet, although you miss it so much. No, you haven't finished your karmic cycle here. You did not do so good. You have to go back and relive that lesson, which means you have to go back and produce more suffering. You produce more suffering, that feeds that whole energy of harvesting, the whole system of harvesting energy. So this is a dimensional layer that surrounds Earth, that is there to catch souls who are departing from Earth and who are longing to go back home, and who think that they don't necessarily want to go back, but they are convinced in that space through the system that they have to go back. The thing is that if you observe that, it seems like a free choice, because the whole system is set up to mimic or create an illusion of a free choice, right? So because these beings tell you, oh, you have to go back, there's more for you to learn through suffering, of course, and so we can get more of your energy. But so we agree. When we're told these things, and we were raised to believe that this is how things are, we agree to it. So it looks like a free choice. But it really is the only choice that we encounter. They're not telling you, hey, you have a choice to go back home. You want to go back to your planet? You can go. Or you can go to Earth and suffer some more. Guess what we would choose, right? So, because that's the only choice that we heard about and we know about and that we're presented with, we make that choice because we've been conditioned and prepared to do that our entire lives through the belief system. And so the incarnation cycle continues. Here's what I learned through that QHHT session. I interacted with my higher self directly. I asked that question. I said, is that an artificial construct? The answer was yes. I said, do I have a different choice? Show me what else I can be. And it said, you can be anything you desire after you get out of human body. You can actually decline an offer to reincarnate on Earth for more suffering. They don't tell you it's for more suffering. It's presented like it's a lesson. There's another lesson to be learned. And all lessons on Earth are learned through suffering, which, oh my God, how convenient is that, right? These beings that greet us in that construct, they're not necessarily the angelics that we're thinking that they are. And this is also like a gray area here, because maybe they are, and maybe they do serve that system. We don't know, but I know that working with angelics, you can employ them and ask them to do various other tasks. But you can stand strong when you see them after life and say, hey, you know what, I'm not agreeing to this. I want to make a different, you make a different agreement with your higher self here. To get out of Earth incarnation cycle, you need to know that first of all you can. Secondary, you need to make an agreement with your higher self here and say, once my job or my lesson or my mission this time around is over, I am creating a new contract that I am now, after this lifetime, I'm going back to wherever I came from, or I'm going on a different mission. I recommend creating a contract that you are moving out of the entire structure of lower dimensional space. This is the agreement that I made. I interacted with the higher self. The higher self said, yes, you can make a different agreement. So when you see the beings and the loved ones are the ones that are posing as your loved ones, how about that for a thought? You say, hi, I love you, thank you for your work, it was wonderful, but no, I'm not agreeing to go back to Earth. I'm moving out of the lower dimensional construct altogether. I did not enjoy this, I did not like this, or maybe my job is complete here. I feel that my job here is complete and I now can return to where I came from. Or you can request a specific different location. Perhaps you always wanted to experience life on the Pleiades, or maybe perhaps you always wanted to experience life, I don't know, in the Sirian constellation or in Andromedan constellation. You can request that as well. And you are permitted to go there instead of coming back to Earth. 100% guaranteed. I just had that experience. And again, the guidance was this. First of all, you have to know that you can do it. Secondary, you need to make an agreement with your higher self. You can make that agreement with your higher self now through your meditations, or if you're interacting with your higher selves. You literally say, okay, I request that my contract with Earth is null. Once I'm done with this incarnation, I am no longer moving into another incarnational space. I request that my agreement is fulfilled. My contract is finished. You do that, and then when you are out of the body, you will be conscious. Trust me. When you fly out of your body and go into that artificial layer where you see your loved ones, say hi to the loved ones. They're trapped there. Or maybe not, possibly they're not even the loved ones at all. Possibly they're just these forces or these entities or energies that are posing as your loved ones to soften your heart, to make you more susceptible to making the wrong choice. Of course, if you desire to come back to Earth, if you're guilt tripped into it, saying, hey, you know, we have to help this planet and we want to help it, and so yeah, of course you can come back. So then you say, yes, I agree, I go back, I do more work, I suffer more, I learn more, or whatever it's called here, right? But so if that's your heart's desire, by all means, you can continue, you can come back and do more of the Earth stuff. But if you don't, when you encounter that layer and the beings, or the angelics, or the beings that we call guides and what have you, they present to you, here's your life. Yes, I know, I had a great life. I learned this, and that, and whatever, produced the kind of energy that I produced. But they say, hey, you have to go back because there is more. You say, no, I don't. I am requesting, and I'm making now a new agreement that I am now out of here. And that's a different choice. That's a choice that they do not present you with, but you can make the choice yourself. So I thought that this was very important to know. We live in a free will universe. We can be energetically whatever we want to be. The fact that we keep coming back and incarnating on Earth, whether we want that or not, is a control mechanism. That's an entrapment system. So when you know that you have a choice, you can make a different choice. This, I hope, opens the door for you to experience and knowing yourself as a freer, much freer, the sovereign being of the free choice. I made that agreement. I made my agreement, and my higher self said that others can make theirs. So I feel that this information is super legit because I just had that experience, and it was as real as you and I talking here right now. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in today. I do personal sessions. If you'd like to have a session with me, you can reach me at isabellagreene.com. Please subscribe for more videos every week. I cover a wide variety of subjects. I love you. Thank you for tuning in today. Take care. Namaste.